Click store.
PatriotPrepared.com carries the leading brands of storable food from Numana, Legacy, and Heaven's Harvest. Patriot Prepared. Our name says it all. We're dedicated to empowering you to be self-reliant and confident in any circumstance. Whether you want to be prepared in the event of an emergency or you're an outdoor sports enthusiast, PatriotPrepared.com has prepackaged meals and kits for your entire family. Legacy, Heaven's Harvest, and Numana are known for high-quality, great-tasting, GMO-free, nutritious food with no chemical preservatives. Simple to prepare, easy to store, gluten-free and organic high-quality nutrition options with a 25-year shelf life. You can't beat the feeling of being food secure when you need it most. So go to PatriotPrepared.com right now to pick up your supply of high-quality storable food for your family, because it makes good sense to be prepared. That's PatriotPrepared.com.
We could play another commercial, or we could play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
John McCain goes, oh boy, Trump makes my life difficult. He had 15,000 crazies show up. Crazies. He called them all crazy. I said, they weren't crazy. They were great Americans. These people, if you would have seen these people, I know what crazy is. I know all about crazies. These weren't crazy. So he insulted me, and he insulted everybody in that room. And I said, somebody should run against John McCain, who has been, in my opinion, not so hot. And I supported him. I supported him for president. I raised $1 million for him. It's a lot of money. I supported him. He lost. He let us down. But, he lost. So I never liked him as much after that, because I don't like losers. And the poll just came out, and I'm tied with Jeb Bush. And I said, oh, that's too bad. How can I be tied with this guy? He's terrible. He's terrible.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm telling you right now, it's awesome. I was trying to get my blood pressure regulated, okay? And after 3 days of taking this thing, my blood pressure went back down to normal. I am ecstatic. I am so happy with this stuff. It is my savior.
This was the first summer that I have not had to have a steroid shot to help me to breathe.
The reason why I'm taking it because I've got Hep C. Once I began taking your stuff, it took a few months, but believe it or not, my liver enzymes are way down and it's normal now. It works.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code TALK.
It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life, but I should have ordered it like 15 years ago.
Better strap yourself in. It's time for the Howie Carr Show.
This is a good deal for the United States. North Korea will freeze and then dismantle its nuclear program. South Korea and our other allies will be better protected. The entire world will be safer as we slow the spread of nuclear weapons.
The United States and South Korea used a show of force overnight to respond to North Korea's test of an intercontinental ballistic missile.
Secretary of State Rex Tillerson calls the ICBM test a new escalation of North Korea's threats.
South Korea's defense minister says North Korea is probably preparing for another nuclear test.
Live from an undisclosed location.
The missiles that are launched by Pyongyang are never headed west. They're always headed east. They're always headed our way. Everybody understands what the target is. So either we're going to act on our own, which is what the president says he'll do, and we are approaching the point, we're simply going to have to accept a nuclear North Korea.
Unchained and unstoppable.
An ICBM completely changes the game. And fortunately, President Trump has completely changed the game. He now brings a credible threat of violence to the diplomacy. It can't work without it. You have to have that iron fist in a velvet glove.
Who's your captain? Howie Carr.
CNN, which is this big multinational news organization, can't develop one on-the-record source to corroborate their Trump-Russia fairy tale X-Files story, right? But they all of a sudden found the resources to out a 15-year-old who goes by the alias like Han Solo something, who put up a video they don't like.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
The Howie Carr Show.
Hey, it's Howie. I hope you're enjoying your July 4th week. Don't worry, I'll be back on the air next Monday. To celebrate the start of summer, I want to offer you $10 off my new book, Kennedy Babylon, this week only. Just go to HowieCarrShow.com and click store and use coupon code Howie at checkout. Kennedy Babylon is packed full of stories of the Kennedy family's scandalous century in the public eye. Many of these scandals happened right where you're vacationing, Cape Cod. Order my latest book, Kennedy Babylon, today and get $10 off when you use coupon code Howie. Get to HowieCarrShow.com and click store. I'll see you back on the air next week.
Hi, folks. Let's wind the clocks back 60 years. Food was different. Food provided health and nutrition, and using supplements was minimal. Unfortunately, now we have chemicals, GMOs, herbicides, and pesticides that can be quite lethal in the name of our food supply.
Seven 882-7221. You'll feel better with more energy. Call 8.
Better strap yourself in. It's time for the Howie Carr Show.
Donald Trump has had a series of highly disturbing tweets, but his tweet yesterday morning was beyond inappropriate. it was suggesting violence against journalists.
What he's trying to do is basically spread fear of our journalists and could cause a lot of mayhem when it comes to, the threats that could potentially come to our Fourth Estate.
And I don't know if anyone who's calling for anybody in the press to be hurt. Quite frankly, I don't know if anyone who wants to hurt the press. They just want to laugh at them because they hold them in contempt. And what's happened to the press is a sense of which they no longer practice journalism.
Live from an undisclosed location.
My sense is that America is strongest when we set the bar high. And that's certainly not what we've seen with these tweets.
Suddenly, you have a pre-existing condition that you know you're dealing with for the rest of your life, and these evil people want to yank the rug out from under 129 million Americans like me and millions of others who have a pre-existing condition.
Donald, you ain't seen nasty yet.
I think a lot of the Trump voters are not the far-right nutcases with guns who want to, shoot up the place. Most of the Trump voters are people...
I don't think anyone was defining them that way.
No, but there certainly are some of them. And the NRA put an appalling ad out there, which really basically made the statement that the NRA was now a white supremacist group.
Unchained and unstoppable.
By the way, Nancy Pelosi said the media were the guardians of democracy. Free press is an important part of our democracy. But if the bad guys are coming over the wall, who do you want defending you? The staff at CNN or the United States Marine Corps?
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
Welcome back to the Howie Carr Show, everybody, and happy Independence Day to one and all. We're talking here this last hour about fireworks, of course. I mean, it's Independence Day. How can we not talk about the purely American celebration where you just blow stuff up? There's no better way to set a little bit of your paycheck on fire than to go down to the local shack on the side of the road and buy a bunch of mortars and firecrackers, and there's no better way to burn through your money. According to the Washington Examiner, 44% of Americans are going to go to a fireworks display. I guess there's 16,000 fireworks displays across the United States. A buzzkill from the NOAA. There's a 42% decrease in air quality when there's a fireworks display going on. But we're asking for your best fireworks story. And you could give us a call at 1-844-500-4242 or send us a text at 680-680. And we'll go right out to the phone lines now. Jim, you're next on this one with Steve filling in for Howie Carr. Go ahead, Jim.
Good afternoon, Steve. This time of the year brings back thoughts of being 18 in 1967 or 68. And I worked at a hamburger place and it was run by kids. And on Saturday nights, the manager would come in, the adult, and he'd look at us all and he'd say, "All right, I'm going to the package store. Who wants what?" And, so it was like a heavenly place for a teenager to work, obviously. We get out of work on a Saturday night. It was near the 4th of July. I forget what the date was. But we took a ride back in the woods where we knew there was a creek and there was a bridge and there were perch in the water. We had firecrackers. We had this firecracker, we called them ash cans. I don't know what they were. But they were silver cylinders about 2 inches long and 1 inch thick with a green wick about 2.5 inches long sticking out the middle of the side, and they burned underwater.
Oh, the water! I love the waterproof ones.
Yeah, they can blow a toilet right off a wall in the high school. I'll tell you that. Boom! What a mess.
Well, I think the fireworks used to be better back in your day, Jim.
Yeah, you can't. I don't think it's illegal to manufacture such things, which I think they now call them M80s.
Yes.
I think that you can't get them. Damn. My kids miss out. At any rate, we go fishing for perch. So light an ash can, throw it in the water, wait a second, bubble, 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 kaboom.
Don't you have to tape them to rocks though? They generally don't sink by themselves. That's the way I've always seen redneck fishing done, is with the M80s or the quarter stick of dynamite taped to a rock. Every fish within like a 10-yard radius just floats belly up to the top. I don't know if they're...
No, we did. I didn't know that technique, but the creek was only 2 feet deep.
Oh, okay. Are they still? Are the perch?
We weren't going after 8-pound lunkers here, Steve.
Well, are they still worth eating after you've blown them up?
No, Steve, they're not.
So you're just killing.
We
you're just killing fish.
In eating them, Steve.
That's a barbaric practice. You're just killing the fish just to kill the fish.
Absolutely.
My God, what would PETA have thunk of your practice, Jim?
Well, what happened? We were punished by God or by the god Poseidon, the god of the deep, because after about our third or fourth throw, 3 of us three of us leaning over the side of the stonework of the bridge, looking down. And I lighted M80 and I let her go, and it goes about 2 feet. It blows up in our faces.
Oh, geez.
And we couldn't see for like 5 minutes. We're screaming.
Oh, God.
Then our vision came back, but I couldn't hear a damn thing for 3 days. All I could hear was a ringing in my ears.
Oh, so maybe it's
my mother's talking to me. You know, I'm nodding my head.
Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing that the M80s are illegal. I mean, for the kids these days, that's just a message.
They were safe. It was safe with kids like me because I was responsible. But obviously, the kids today, I wouldn't trust them with it.
Yeah, well,
we were different.
Jim, we'll let your story be a warning to the kids right now to be responsible with their fireworks. Garrett, you're next with Steve, filling in for Howie Carr here on the Howie Carr Show. Go ahead, Garrett.
Happy Independence Day.
Yes, happy Independence Day to you too.
You know, we were doing. When we were kids, you know, we used to do the sleep out in the backyard routine.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my buddies, his father was a chemist. And Jerry, this guy's name is Jerry, and he managed to snag a reel of magnesium ribbon.
Mm.
I don't know if you know about magnesium ribbon.
I like where this is going. Are you using it to light thermite?
I think magnesium is a component of thermite. I'm not sure. I'd have to look that up. But anyway, magnesium ribbon, when it burns, it looked like gray, dull gray audio tape, 1/4-inch audio tape, almost as thin. It was very delicate. But anyway, we used to do the sleep out in the backyard routine, and then 3 a.m. at the darkest at night, we go sneak into another neighborhood and string up a 4 or 5 foot length of this stuff into a tree and then light it. And then one time we did it. And of course it would burn for about 8 seconds, 10 seconds, and it was there and it was gone. But I'm telling you, it's one of the brightest lights you can make.
Yeah, and it burns very hot. I wouldn't put it up in a tree. You're talking like forest fire territory there, Garrett.
Well, this is actually Long Island suburbia, and we'd hang it on a branch. And by the time it made it to the branch, it was gone.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It burns hot and it burned fast. The stuff that we used in chemistry lab was very thick. It was almost like a wire, but this stuff was like audio tape. But anywho, we found out that after we did it one night, the local police department, which was about 8 blocks away, the local precinct, this is on Long Island, received several calls, and they thought aliens were coming to Massapequa, New York. I mean, Seafood, New York.
Oh, that's great.
We used to wrap plastic army men in this stuff. I mean, kids. I mean, really. I don't want to give anybody. No, I don't want to say what I was going to say, but we had fun with that.
Yeah, the good toys. The good toys used to be more widely available. You'd be hard pressed to find magnesium ribbon these days, Garrett. But hey, thanks for the story. I appreciate that. We're talking about fireworks and your best fireworks stories. You can give us a call at 1-844-500-4242. The mailroom manager was actually nice enough to bring in some nice American flags. So we've got some 3-foot by 5-foot American flags that we're going to be giving out for the last hour while supplies last here at the Howie Carr Show. We're going to give out some 3x5 American flags here on Independence Day for the best fireworks stories that you guys can come up with. 844-500-4242 is the number if you want to give us a call. We'll take a quick break right here, and then we'll be back with your fireworks stories again. 844-500-4242. This is Steve Robinson filling in for Howie Carr, and this is the Howie Carr Show.
Hang on. The Howie Carr Show returns next.
Howie Carr here. Have you looked in the mirror lately? When you see your smile, what do you think? If you're like most people, you probably wish you had whiter teeth or teeth that weren't so crooked. And then you think fixing those problems will take years and might cost you more than you could afford. Well, I've got good news for you. You can have a perfect smile with just 3 visits to Dr. Houghton at Perfect Smiles in Nashua, New Hampshire. Using state-of-the-art cosmetic dentistry, Dr. Houghton will work with you to design the smile you want. Within 6 weeks from your initial visit, you'll have perfectly straight teeth and they'll
Better strap yourself in. It's time for the Howie Carr Show.
This is a good deal for the United States. North Korea will freeze and then dismantle its nuclear program. South Korea and our other allies will be better protected. The entire world will be safer as we slow the spread of nuclear weapons.
The United States and South Korea used a show of force overnight to respond to North Korea's test of an intercontinental ballistic missile.
Secretary of State Rex Tillerson calls the ICBM test a new escalation of North Korea's threats.
South Korea's defense minister says North Korea is probably preparing for another nuclear test.
Live from an undisclosed location.
The missiles that are launched by Pyongyang are never headed west. They're always headed east. They're always headed our way. Everybody understands what the target is. So either we're going to act on our own, which is what the president says he'll do, or, and we are approaching the point, we're simply going to have to accept a nuclear North Korea.
Unchained and unstoppable.
An ICBM completely changes the game. And fortunately, President Trump has completely changed the game. He now brings a credible threat of violence to the diplomacy. It can't work without it. You have to have that iron fist in a velvet glove.
Who's your captain? Howie Carr.
CNN, which is this big multinational news organization, can't develop one on-the-record source to corroborate their Trump-Russia fairy tale X-Files. Right? But they all of a sudden found the resources to out a 15-year-old who goes by the alias like Han Solo something.
Yeah, with
put
something,
up a video
yeah.
they don't like.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
So, North Korea used America's Independence Day to launch an intercontinental ballistic missile with the potential to hit American soil, we're told. Congress is still fighting about whether or not we're going to repeal Obamacare. There's some debate. Some conservatives don't want to even have the August recess because there's so much work to do. President Trump is in Europe now. He's going to be meeting with the G20 European leaders, including his first bilateral meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. So what was CNN up to on Independence Day? Digging into the identity of the anonymous internet troll who created the now infamous WWF Body Slam video that Donald Trump retweeted